Oh, hey folks, what's going on? We're back. Thought we had a change, but not so much. Let me get this quiet now so before I get flagged.
You know what? We floating regardless of what it is. Like the old song from the float. We gonna float on. Whatever platform they give us to work from, we gonna make it work, man.
Yeah, we're gonna make it work, man. We definitely gonna make it work.
We gonna be like golfers. We gonna play it where it lies. That's life in general. Ain't no do overs. You can
None
do better.
whatsoever.
All you can do is do better. Once you know better.
For sure, man.
That was a whole lot of wisdom dropped right there by accident. Ah,
Yeah. Wherever we
there we
laying,
go.
man. Gonna let y'all know what it is. You ready to get the show started, Sean P?
Let's do it, my man.
When the weekend turns to Monday and the stars begin to shine, we're bringing you a message that'll stand the test of time. We got the wisdom in the building, keeping everything secure. A late night conversation that is positive and pure. Turn your radio up, tell your family and your friends. This is where the true community connection begins. It's a place for inspiration, it's a place for real talk. The most uplifting hour on your late night walk. We got Trusty Sean P, keeping everything on track. Deacon King Ace holding down the back, and God in the ship with a word so clear. Reverend Larry on the mic is here. Trusty Sean P. Deacon King Ace and your host, Reverend Larry. The mic is live right now.
Welcome to Late Night Talk with Reverend Larry. I am your host, Reverend Larry, and I got my man, Trustee Sean P, with me tonight. And later on, Deacon King Ace will be on with us. What's going on, King Sean P? Look, King
Guess what
Sean.
day it is? Guess what day it is, Larry? Guess what day it
It's
is?
it's
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 hump
hump day,
day.
baby.
It's
It's
hump
hump day,
day.
man. It's
Yeah,
hump
man.
day. How was your weekend, man? This is our Monday, right?
It was a long, arduous, dragged out weekend, man. It just was. You know what? I'm still recuperating from Usher, man. Usher and Chris Brown.
Oh, come on, man. Well, hey,
Yeah.
man, to be honest, I'm still trying to get my sleep schedule back from when I traveled to Memphis to eulogize Eric. So,
Yeah.
um, man, it's I guess it's that kind of. But I'm cooling though. I've had some.
Oh, I ain't
My,
saying I wouldn't.
yeah, me
Now
and the
don't get
wife
it
have been busy.
twisted.
Me and the wife have been busy this week, man. But we
I
take
ain't
care
been
of business.
busy. I refuse to
Oh
tell that
no,
lie.
we've been busy, man. The season is 2 months away, dog. Season opening is two
Man,
months away. We're here.
I've been
So
I've been horizontal as a mug.
yeah, man, we here now, man. So uh man, where are we now in sports, bro? And I want to get started on something. And we'll make our way around, but I know you're not deep in boxing like I am. We you know
Well, I
we
was. I'm not gonna sit here and tell that lie. I'm not now, but I really was. And then I just
right.
saw a lot of stuff that just, I'm
Right.
like, it's
A lot of
trifling.
a lot of fraggle naggle is going on.
Yeah, man, lot.
Yeah, and
And
it
the problem with
and
it
it is.
is, I'm starting to see it pour over in other sports.
Well, I got some more Fraggle Naggle for you in boxing that it just don't stop. You know, um, I I'm a fan of Devin Haney. Devin Haney actually remind me of my cousin Sugar Ray Leonard in regarding the throwback fighter who wants to fight everybody.
Right, right.
And you know, I commend that about him. I mean, my wife even respects him for it.
Oh yeah,
Um,
but I grew up around the corner from Bray Leonard.
oh, okay, yeah, that's he my for real blood. I used to we say play cousins, and then somebody shared with me that he's actually in our tree. So
Right,
um,
right.
I found that very unique. But he's a throwback fighter, and
Yeah,
when I say
yeah.
yeah, when I say that, he oh,
He
okay.
fought some battles, man.
Yeah, he's a throwback fighter, and he wants to fight the best. All right. Um, I I I have an issue with what's happening right now with him. A lot of people say he's a boring fighter. He doesn't have knockout punch or knockout power, but they don't want to fight him. And they say they
You
want
know,
to fight him because he's a boring fighter.
well, that's what they say
Uh,
about the old boy Mayweather.
right.
He spends all the time running around the ring. If anybody understands, you can't be fans of boxing. You have to be a fan of the sport, the
the
art.
sweet, the
The
sweet
art of
science.
boxing requires you to connect. You understand why they have a point system? Because if you
Yeah,
connect, that's a point. If the other
yeah.
person doesn't, guess what? They don't get a
They
point.
don't get
The person who
right.
has the most points wins the back. That's the science of boxing. So if you
Yeah,
are not getting hit, but you are delivering hits, guess what? You're winning. It doesn't matter how pretty it is. That's the science of boxing.
the
They
sweet
looking for
science
pretty
of
boxing.
yeah, the sweet science of boxing is hit and not get hit. Like that's the sweet
Yes,
science of boxing. And
absolutely.
nobody wants to get in there and get in the middle of the ring and just duke it out, bro. You got 12 rounds of championship boxing,
Yeah,
and
that,
you
that
you
them
have
blows that you throwing and the ones that get landed on you take a toll on you throughout the course of a
yeah,
boxing match.
yeah. So my thing is this. So I'm gonna give you this scenario. I want you to know. I want to know your spiel. I'm biased, of course, but I'm not gonna be biased in what I'm about to share with you. Excuse me. I'm not gonna show any biasness. I'm gonna just give you the scenario and just like it is. There's a young man named Shakur Stevenson out of New Jersey,
Hmm.
and he and Devin are going back and forth. And Shakur just won the 140-pound WBO belt from Teofimo Lopez.
Hmm.
And it was a one-sided fight. There was no competition whatsoever. And so
Right.
Devin and Shakur goes back and
But
forth on
they
Twitter.
knew that going into the fight. I must say that much.
Yeah, 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 most definitely. So Devin and Shakur goes back and forth on Twitter, and they trying to see who's who. So Shakur said, "Look, let's meet at 144. You're 147. I'm 140. Let's do a catch weight. Let's meet at 144." And that's hey,
Well,
that
that's
that's
fair.
cool. Because why? Um, Mayweather and I believe Mayweather and Canelo met at a catch weight. I don't know what catch weight that was, but they
Yeah.
did meet at a catch weight. So that's what some fighters do. So Devin was like, "All right, cool. Let's meet at 144." Well, all of a sudden, Shakur disappears, like for real, for like 3, 4, 5 days, like 4 days. He disappears, and
Hmm.
then he reappears on uh a I think Sky TV, which is that's like a that's like a network in England somewhere. It's overseas,
Hmm. Okay.
and so he gets on there talking about, man, these guys want to fight fighters who are bigger than them, and now all the while this is going on, Shakur now has somebody that's coming between he and Devin by the name
Mm,
of Keyshawn Davis.
okay.
Now, now
Another hand
Keyshawn,
pick.
now Keyshawn Davis is a real nice fighter, but he's 15 and 0.
Hmm.
And he and Shakur claim to be, they bosom, but they brothers, right?
Right.
And they said
Okay.
they're not going to fight one another. So that's where they stand with
Kind of
that.
like
And
the
then
Klitschko boys. Okay.
right. So Jay Prince out of Rapid Out Records managed both of these guys. And so what Jay Prince has done, he's used his he's used his influence to push Keyshawn, mind you, who's not a welterweight. He hasn't fought a fight in the welterweight division, and I don't think he owns a belt in the 140 division. But
Mm,
he uses his influence to push Keyshawn all the way up to number one, ranked number one in the WBO, and forces the WBO to make Keyshawn Davis Devin Haney's mandatory.
hmm.
So everybody is seeing what this is. Like, bro, they basically showed that Keyshawn is very expendable, and they're throwing him out there to keep Devin away from Shakur. Like everybody sees it.
Right.
All right. So once this happens, now this narrative of, well, Shakur is now saying, well, Devin, I'll fight you if you drop the belt and give my brother Keyshawn a chance to fight for the WBO belt. Now, Devin is
Right.
with it because Shakur is a bigger fight than Keyshawn. But Devin is saying, look, I have no problem dropping this belt, but I'm not going to drop this belt if you haven't signed the contract to fight me. I'm not
Mm,
going to trust you to do right if I drop this belt,
and
right?
why should?
Now, what has happened? The WBO has mandated that Keyshawn fights Devin.
Mhm.
So for 20 days, starting, I want to say in June, for 20 days, they were trying to negotiate the terms of the fight.
Mhm.
And in the history of boxing, the mandatory split has always been 75-25. Always been
Right.
75-25, right? Keyshawn is
Absolutely.
wanting more. So
Because
they don't, he just wants more. We're gonna talk about because in a minute. And I'm closing this scenario. So 20 days have passed. They couldn't come up with an agreement because Keyshawn wants more. Now he's locked in because as of yesterday, um, the WBO has said there will now be a purse bid on July 27th. And I want to say for the first time, the first bid is going to be live.
mm,
I don't know the time, but it's going to be live. So and the bid starts at $200,000. So whatever network want to carry this fight has an opportunity on July 27th, which I believe is next Monday, to bid for this fight. So the crazy thing in all of this, though, is everybody see that Keyshawn doesn't want to fight this, doesn't want to fight Devin, and all of what this has done is smoke and mirrors. It's created smoke
mm.
and mirrors because everybody sees what's happening.
Right. Right.
Everybody see that this dude does not want to fight Devin, and they know that this kid was just thrown in Shakur's way to keep Devin off of Shakur.
Oh yeah.
So now it's a possibility this kid now might fight Devin for peanuts.
Mm.
Me personally, I think the bid is going to probably go between 3 and 4 million. If it goes to 4 million, 25% of 4 million is 1 million. That's
Mhm.
3 times the amount of money that Keyshawn has gotten in his last few fights.
but he wants more.
He's right. So with that being said, that's more than likely the Fraggle Naggle that you're talking about. And I know I took a
Mhm.
little minute to kind of lay that all out, but
That's part of it. That is part of it. The
I
other
don't like
portion of it.
I don't I don't like I'll say this. I don't
Uh-huh,
like
uh-huh.
when fighters duck other fighters.
No,
Cause
I'm nobody's for that. It takes
and
away from the beauty of the
right,
sport.
right. And I know nobody want to say that fighters are scared to fight other fighters.
No, it's about
I'm
their
s-
legacy.
I'm sorry. I still fear,
It ain't
you
even
know.
about fear. It's just that it's not always their fear. A lot of times the fighters want that fight, but their trainers and managers, are like promoters. Now, in order for us to make this person to keep your legacy, like because they get paid off of that legacy too, mind you.
Yes, yes, yes,
So
most
it's
definitely.
not always the fighter. The fighter's game, but the people surrounding him, his management team, his trainers, those are the ones who are like, well, okay, we're gonna give you this fight. We're gonna give you this one. This is the one that's gonna be the one. Now this one you should be. If you do this one, then we can talk about the other. But he's already talked about the other one. He's ready for the other one. He's prepared for the other one. He's done what was necessary to be able to have the shot at the other one. But you don't want to give him that because you're afraid that there's something in that other person's art or in his skill set that is going to be a problem for your boxer. Even if he wins, he's not going to show well. Or if he gets beat, then that destroys that legacy that you are building for him. I'd rather get whooped and come back and try it again
Right, right. But
to say that hey, I gave it.
everybody's trying to get this Mayweather, 50 and 0 look, and they trying to protect that thinking
Yeah,
that, it will blemish their legacy, or it will blemish, who they are and what they are as a fighter. And I beg to differ, man. Sugar
yeah.
Ray Leonard didn't have a perfect record. And I'm sorry, that last fight against Hearn, and he's admitted it. And he lost that
Hmm.
fight.
Yeah, man.
That last fight against Tommy Hearn, bro. And I love Sugar Ray Leonard, man. That's my favorite fighter. He lost
Yeah,
that
but for
fight.
him to come out, for him to open his mouth on his own, you
Yes,
gotta respect him. Hey, I
you
don't
gotta
feel like I
respect him.
did what was necessary to win that
But
fight.
they,
But
but
the
they
judges,
dared,
the judges did their thing.
but they dared to be great, though, bro.
Yeah,
I guess that's where I'm coming
absolutely.
from, man. They weren't afraid. Like when Sugar Ray Leonard lost against Duran, man, you know what he said? Man, we got to run that back. We got to run
Yeah,
that back. Close fights, man. He ran it back, man. And that's why I like
right.
Devin. Although Devin although Devin is undefeated, he's a throwback fighter, bro, because he dares to be great and he wants the toughest fights. My only thing with Devin, man, sometimes I feel that he like kid ain't been in the ring in 9 months because nobody want to fight him.
Hmm.
But man, I just feel, man, the only thing I don't like about Devin is the fact I think sometimes, man, he, you know, man, just take some of these other little smaller, they're not mandatories because they were forced to, he would have to be forced to play. But there are other fighters to kind of just keep yourself fresh, man. Because a lot of what they try to do is age you out. Like Deontay Wilder, they wanted to age him out, you know. But man, Devin is my guy, but I don't like the way Shakur is moving. Because I'm sorry, the way Shakur is moving, he's scared of Devin. Coming up with all these
Yeah,
excuses, man, drop the belt and I'll fight you. And you ain't got no
yeah,
signed contract. You ain't signed a contract,
yeah, yeah.
you know. And
Man.
so I call Devin the
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
boogeyman of boxing, man, because look, that's to me, my personal opinion. He's that kid, man. He's that guy, you know.
Right.
Oh, my man. Deacon King Ace is in the building. What's going on, brother?
So what's up? What's
What
up?
it
What's
do,
up? What's
bro?
up, man?
Man,
Oh man,
heck
we
of a
talking a little.
scenario going on here.
Yeah, man. We in the after hours of the show, we talked about Shakur, Keyshawn, and Devin. And me personally, man, I'm a Devin Haney fan because he's a throwback fighter. And I advise, don't take my word for it. I advise anybody look into the kid's career because you're gonna like what you see. He's a throwback fighter. He doesn't, you know, he doesn't war against anybody. He doesn't. He doesn't scare easily, and he's somebody that will entertain you because man, at 147, the kid is amazing.
Hmm.
And right now they're purse bid, and like as I told you last time we talked, Ace, you know they were negotiating. Well, Keyshawn was still trying to ask for 30%, so they didn't come with a number. So now the WBO has actually scheduled a purse bid. Now that fight is up for grabs, just like that. It's up for grabs, and that's going on July 27th, next Monday. And it's gonna be live. It's gonna be live stream. They're gonna be, so I think Top Rank gonna bid on it. The Zone is gonna bid on it. Um, PBC is gonna bid on it. Like it's gonna be, hey, it's gonna be some fireworks. I still don't think it's gonna garner anything over 5 million. I think maybe 3, 4 million. And the unique thing about Devin is he's already getting paid because he has a contract. I want to say he has a contract with Zuffa Sports or Zuffa Boxing. This new Zuffa is supposed to change the landscape of boxing in a sense of the best are going to fight the best. You can't duck. You're not going to be able to, kind of hide behind, excuses. You're gonna have to fight somebody. Now Zuffa
In
is
other words,
coming
it's throwing it back to the old school.
throwback fighting. Still going to throwback fighting. So
Do it
um,
according to what you ranked, and let's get it going.
that's it, man. That's it. And at the end of the day, man, that's what people want to see. I got my homeboy.
Absolutely.
That's his channel name, BFTV. Best fight the best.
Hmm.
And he's a good friend of mine. If you guys ever watching, want to get caught up on any type of boxing, that's who you want to follow. And what his name is that's my mantra. I want the best to fight the best. I want the best to play the best. Be it
Absolutely.
football, baseball, um, basketball. I want the best to fight the best. I don't want the best teaming up against everybody else
Hmm. Yeah.
to play to play.
Just
I
couldn't
don't
just
I don't
couldn't just couldn't stay away from that, huh? You just couldn't stay away from
hey
that, huh?
man,
Just couldn't. That's crazy. Just thought we was gonna stay on the boxing segment for just a little bit longer. Just thought that's where we was
but
gonna stay.
man,
Man, you
where
already
where are we in where are we in sports now, man? I mean, like
I can
we
tell you.
just heard a sound bite. We heard a sound bite earlier. Everybody in the chat, we heard a sound bite earlier about the 80s and 90s players. And these young cats don't respect our game back then because they don't know about the game, you know.
Hmm.
It's all
And it,
recency bias. That's what it is. Recency bias. The era and age in which they grew up to learn the game and where they see it now compared to
right,
learning where it come from. It's just like history. You don't know where you're going or where you are if you don't know where you came from. And that's one of the things
that's
that I
true.
always, cater, that pioneer list that I always speak about, because on that list you can't
Right.
disrespect anybody no matter how you feel about it. The only problem is that it just it doesn't negate them being great. It just removes them from a list that they are originally supposed to be on, because we're talking to a fan base of sports fans, casual fans, TV analysts
No,
who don't know the
we're
game
not
of
even
their
dealing with
sport.
sports fans. We're dealing with fans.
Okay,
We're dealing with
okay,
player fans.
that's
I'm
Casuals,
fair
sorry,
too. That's fair.
player
casual,
fans. They no, it's
casuals.
not even casuals. They love that player, and it doesn't matter what team they're on. They following a player until another player comes
Yeah,
along. Then
yeah,
they follow that player.
yeah.
There's no there.
Yeah, because
We
it was
stuck
an
with
era in which you
teams.
followed a team. You was a team fan, not a
It was
player. So
it
now
didn't
granted the
matter who
young
was on
guys,
that team
yeah,
or how
right,
good or
right,
bad it was.
right.
We rooted for that team.
Yeah, yeah.
We're loyal
Now,
to them.
now there was an era in which like you may like someone on another team, but if they played against your team, forget them, screw them.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
wanted
but
them to
other
do
than that,
badly.
right,
Now
right,
you got
absolutely.
guys who who root for a team, but if they see a guy that they like on another team, they want him to just have I hope he has a great day. They don't care if the other team, if their team wins or lose. They just want their player to show up so they can. I told you he was the best. I told you he was going to do. I told you this. Okay, but your team lost because he did that. Oh, that don't matter. Why don't it?
I
That matters to
you know,
me.
I mean, no,
when
I
James,
totally agree. I totally agree.
yeah,
But
when
but,
James
but
Harden
go ahead, Rev.
when James Harden was traded away from Houston, I mean, all right, James, take care, man. You know,
Yeah, holla. And don't
you
come
know,
back here thinking you gonna show yourself up and you ain't gonna show the team up.
You're like,
nah,
My
thank you for
mom
what you
gonna
did,
get you.
thank you for
Yeah,
what you
we
did, but
appreciate you. I'm gonna give you a
please
couple
continue.
hand claps. But it's time. But it's on with the new crew now. Here's some new folks out here. I'm not wearing your damn jersey to the stadium. It ain't hard day for me unless you retire.
right. Yeah, I ain't got to burn
I
it or
mean,
none of that. It ain't that
Yeah,
serious.
but you know that was, but that was also a different era of basketball from then until now too, because you have guys
it's a different
who
sports
are
era.
Kobe fans, who were Jordan fans, but they were Laker fans. Like it don't matter where they were going, what they were doing, they're gonna have that jersey. You know what I'm saying? Like that, but that was a different era in which we enjoyed and loved watching the game. Now it's
Right.
all this player movement. You're able to choose what team you want to go to, how much money you're going to get paid. If you don't get paid what you
Right.
want to get paid, you're not going to play. You may fake an injury. You may have your trainer or doctor sign off and you're not playing and you're fully healthy. Like it's a whole mix up now. But Rev, you had asked the question earlier, and I had actually wanted to answer that question that you asked.
Go ahead. Go
You had
ahead. Go
asked
ahead.
what's going on in sports,
Yeah, where are we now in
and the
sports?
thing where we are in sports is this: these guys realize they can make more money and showcase what they do less because the more money there's more money out there with TV deals, HBO, Showtime. Shoot, I don't know if Donald Trump still is part of some of those TV deals and promotions and sponsorships for boxing. But when the money is out there, that's when they want to fight. But that's why at a point in time, boxers were boxing 3-4 times a year. These guys aren't doing that. They're some barely getting one boxing match a year because
That's
they
what I
want the
was
money to
just
be right.
saying.
And these
I
guys
just
are
said
making
that.
way more now than what they were before. And it's an
I,
unfortunate thing
I,
because that's also going across all sports sectors. It's going across all sports sectors. And I use that
I
as an
was just
example.
saying that
They had to
about
put a
Devin.
65 game rule, but I'm just saying they had to put a 65 game rule in for the NBA just for guys to even be able to get awards, which let you know they're getting paid top dollar for not playing and getting rewarded
Right.
for not playing.
Right.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Right.
But you
And
but you got
here's
but
the
you
thing.
but you both had something to
This
say. But you both had something to say. Go ahead.
this falls into what I was talking about before the show, a little pre-show conversation. There's so much parity nowadays. Number one, that's number one. There's a
Yes.
lot of parity.
Yes.
Number two, we are dealing with a generation that you can't criticize. You understand me? Number three, these
Sensitive.
uncriticizable players have more control and say over the destiny of their careers than any era before in any sports league ever. And all of those things have combined to create, and we're not even going to get into now that they have the online betting and it's legal and you can do this and it's part of the game. And we're learning that, through basketball right now, they've caught one player, so far. We already know what they went through in baseball. They went through it for years in baseball. God knows that they
Right.
still are not because they're not talking about it, is what it is. It's just not being talked about because they're finding it in other sports now. We've definitely found it. There's cheating in football. We know that. Whether it may not be to the point of shaving points or anything of that nature, but hey, we're going to make an advantage by deflating the ball, or we're going to do this, or we're going to do that, or we got
Oh
bounties
man.
out. We got bounties out to hurt the best player. So there's just so much crap, and you can't talk about these people because you talk about them. Oh my God,
Yeah.
you're bullying
Yeah,
them.
yeah, we are. Yeah, we're definitely in
You
that.
can't even tell a guy he had a poor game anymore. You know,
Yeah,
I,
we're
I
definitely in
call
that
this the
era of being
narcissistic
sensitive.
era of sports, where it's everybody else's fault,
Yeah,
but the individual, they don't take accountability.
None whatsoever.
yeah.
There's no
Not a
accountability in
little bit,
sports, none.
not
And
a little
I,
bit
I
at all.
blame
At all.
my generation because we were so intent on winning and we didn't win. The feeling that we had would gut us. And we didn't want our children to have that feeling. So we allowed participation trophies so that everybody wins. And guess what? We've developed this whole era of sports now where everybody thinks they're great when they just shoddy. Journeyman
Mm,
players.
I, I disagree. I disagree on that. It's not
I
on.
do. I
It's
don't
no.
because I see it. I'm talking
It's
about some journeyman players think they have a right to be called the best at what they do. Bruh, your stats don't add up to that dude's stats. Yeah, but I got a trophy.
well.
I got I got
I disagree because
and as a
our
team effort award from what he said, that basically says that now I got bragging rights because I still won.
I still won. Exactly. You can
well
tell me what you won. I still won at the end.
I don't have a problem with being accountable for how we've moved the needle regarding sports, but I'm not gonna fall on the sword for this generation. This
I'm falling,
generation,
man.
nah, this generation is not our generation.
And
Like,
Hey,
here's the
hey,
thing.
hey,
well,
hey, Rev,
And
Rev,
Larry, I,
hold
you're
on,
right.
hold
Here's
on,
the thing. I'm
hold
not
on,
falling
hold on.
on it because I
I
feel
got
responsible for having done it. I'm falling
No,
on it
no.
because it's our generation who started this. I didn't stop it. I don't believe in
No,
it, but I ain't
no.
stop it either.
hey Rev,
Our generation.
hey Rev, when you finish, I got an example. I got an example that's gonna follow that, and you're gonna have
Okay.
no choice but to
Well,
agree with me. Watch what I tell you.
well, our generation. This is. We were the '80s and the '90s, right?
Speak for yourself. I
And
was the '70s, '80s, and the '90s.
I mean, I was
I'm a
six in the
2000s.
'70s,
I was born in '92. I'm more of
Not my
the late
right?
fault.
70s,
Y'all are
And,
young.
1980s.
and so and so here's my point.
Yeah,
Here's
y'all
my
got
point.
Similac on your breath. That ain't my fault. I was here first. I didn't even have formula when I was coming up. It was either my booby or nothing.
Well, I'm country dog. I had goat milk, but we ain't gonna go into that. But look,
Yeah, that didn't sit well with me. You know, I was lactose intolerant. The only thing I can work with is my booby.
but
Oh my
here's my
goodness.
point. Here's my point in why I stand on business the way I do. All right, and that's because King Ace thinks the way he is. King Ace thinks the way he thinks because of us.
Hmm.
He is a product of our generation, not
Yeah,
this generation.
I guess mine spans a
This
couple
generation,
generations because mine starts off
no,
34 years old, 35 years old, but then I got
no,
that 19-year-old down there at the bottom too. So yeah, I understand.
no.
I got a couple
I'm not.
generations going on.
I don't claim this generation. This matter of fact, I have grandkids in this generation. My
Yeah,
kids
me
aren't
too.
even a part of my kids aren't even a part of this generation. My
Neither
kids
are
are
mine
part
to
of
that degree, but
yeah,
everyone
my
else
kids
around
are
them is.
part my kids are part of the 2000s and the 2010s. That's
Hmm.
those are my kids.
Right.
This generation here is totally different. But you know why that is? What's the
Social
vast
media,
difference? Thank you. Well, not just social media. Okay.
but that made a big
Yes,
difference.
yes, it makes a huge difference. But here's the thing: '80s and
It's
'90s
a
were
quite a few. It's
disciplined,
quite a few factors. It's quite a few factors
but
that go into
'80s,
it.
'80s
Quite a
and
few.
'90s, '80s and '90s, and the early part of 2000s, you know, were disciplined enough to keep their heads out of the media. When I say media, like Jordan very rarely saw what they were saying about him unless it hit front page news.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh
and for that there
Kobe,
was a blessing in that.
Kobe, Kareem, Magic, they kept their heads out of they look, although their names were in the headlines, they kept their
Right,
eyes off the headlines. And what
right.
this generation has done, to your point, Sean P. D. Trustee Sean P. To your point, this what this generation does. The first thing they do as soon as the game is over, they get on
They
Twitter.
on Twitter. Facebook, X. They on every, or whatever
They
platform that
don't.
they have.
Yeah, they
The
lack the
the other
discipline.
problem,
They
the
lack the
other problem with
discipline
that, yes, they
of
do. They
staying
they
off.
obviously do.
Yeah,
The
they
other
lack the
problem
discipline.
with that social media is that you have sites like YouTube. And the problem with YouTube and those specific sites like Instagram, YouTube, Facebook Live that show a portion of a game, but they're only showing snippets. And these individuals coming up, and then this goes. See, we have the luxury. They have the luxury now of being able to go back into the '60s, the '70s, the '80s, the '90s, and watching full games. But rather than watch full games because they don't have the patience to sit through them, they'll
Highlights.
watch snippets, and then they'll come up and create an opinion based off the snippet that they saw. And what that's like is an individual who sits on the 50-yard line right behind the bench who watches a game and sees both sides of the field and everything that happened compared to a person who's sitting behind a pole who only sees one half of the field. They only see what's happening on that one half of the field in the first quarter and the third quarter, or maybe the second quarter and the fourth quarter. And if they're watching in the second quarter and the fourth quarter, they seen what they and made their decision that this person over here on this team is garbage. He can't do nothing because they just seen a snippet of it. They don't realize this dude had an astronomical game. His team let him down.
I like
They
what a
didn't
lot
see
of
that.
young cats. I like what a lot of young people are doing now. And this is, and I told y'all we gonna have to jump on this bandwagon, the three of us. The reaction videos, right?
Oh
So
wow.
what you're doing now, you have a lot of Generation Zs who are actually doing live reaction videos of some of Jordan's games, and they're not showing snippets. They're actually reacting to live basketball games of Jordan, live and living
Right.
color.
where,
Because
where
I've
they can
always
get the
said,
whole concept of how
yeah,
amazing he was and how frustrating he could be all in the same game.
well,
He,
I
he was
I'm
he was
grateful.
equally both.
I'm man, I'm oohing about this strikeout. The Astros just swept the Miami Marlins. But I say that I'm glad to see things like that because that's what we do. Like, for instance, when I'm looking at a player to pass along to my coach, I really don't want highlight films.
No,
I want to see the whole. I
because
want to
that's
see
just
your
what
whole game.
we're back to the snippets.
I want to see your whole game. If you're gonna wear Houston Redstone uniform, look. If you're gonna put this logo on your chest, I want Houston Reds. I want to see your entire game. I don't want
And,
to see
and I
some of
don't
that.
want to just see the
I don't.
offensive highlights. I want to see what you're doing on D.
I want to see everything.
I don't
I
want to
want to
just see
see it
you when
all.
you go and make some incredible dunk. I want to see how you playing off ball.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just it's a different it's a different generation, but some of them are getting it. You know, some of them are getting because and you can see that even in modern day basketball. Like everybody is kind of leaving that threes and dunks game playing alone. Thanks God that the mad scientists don't have a job this year. Now it's kind of going towards fundamental basketball. Now it's sexy to watch KD pull up for a mid range, or it's nice to watch somebody to pull up for a mid range and have a mid range game without uh you know D'Antoni coming and saying, well, I mean, he was 17 feet from the basket. I mean, you step back 6 more feet. And it's just a long two. I hate that concept.
Yeah,
I hate
yeah,
that terminology of a long two.
right.
Man, look, Kobe took a whole bunch of long twos. But
Absolutely.
you know why he was okay to shoot that shot? Because he hit his spot. And
Yeah.
and I know when Kobe
And
get his shot, when
oh,
he
he
get to
was
his spot,
impossible to stop.
impossible. So I'm grateful to see some of what's happening out here where these guys are now taking full accountability of what this game means to us and what is truly good basketball. Now look, that summer league was hard to watch.
Was it?
I'm sorry. To me it was.
Well, I'm asking because
Hey,
I didn't
let's
watch none of it.
let's wait. Let's not go too far into summer league just yet. I wanted to bring back
Well,
the
I'm, no,
point that
no. What I say that because of how they were playing the game. That's what I was saying. How they were playing the game is that's what the mad scientists want to see.
okay. I wanted to
That's
actually touch back on the
that's
point though that of the when trustee mentioned that y'all generation is the reason why these guys have the mindset and the mantra of how they handle business and how they see the game and why they see the example I will give you is the prime example of parenting today.
Mm,
In comparison to, not saying y'all generation, not saying my generation, because it's not really about blame, because anybody can be blamed technically, but it's about
right.
where you really see the disconnect of it taking place and when exactly did it take place. And so for the parenting aspect compared to where the generation who sees the game the way that they do, for my generation, I see the game completely different because I actually go back and watch full games. I don't just look at stats. I'm gonna look at the
Right.
stats, but I'm gonna look at the game too. Like I'll sit down and watch basketball for hours and hours and hours and hours. A lot of guys are not doing it. They're trying to get, as
no.
Trustee said, they're trying to get snippets. As you said, they're trying to get highlights. They're trying to get the very, very small quintessential part of what they think they're gonna get the best outcome for their response in the debate, but not realize there were other aspects of that game that they missed.
Shock value.
Prime
Shock
example.
value.
Prime example. Jordan in a game, it was either game 6 or game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals against the Knicks. He went 3 for 18.
Is
He went 3 for
that
18.
ain't the one they took him out of the game from?
No, that was
No,
Portland.
that was against the Knicks.
That's Portland.
That
Yeah,
was against the
that was,
Knicks.
yeah. Okay.
But look, in this game in particular, he went 3 for 18 from the field. But no one brings up he almost had a triple double. No one talked about him having 11 assists, 8, 9 rebounds. No one spoke about him having 2 blocks, 2 steals. They only focused on the 3 for 18. But isn't that the exact same thing they do for LeBron? LeBron get praised for doing all this other stuff, but not being able to carry the team offensively. But when he has a bad
Yeah,
offensive
yeah.
game, he gets praised for being able to get everybody else involved. Jordan can't even get that same respect.
Right.
So it's really who's actually watching the entire game, not just to try to get one up in a conversation.
No, it's not even who's watching the
Argue, but
entire
they don't want to
game.
really
It's
debate.
who understands the entire game.
I like that you brought that out because like that's why, and I really, really hate this stat wasn't around during his first three-peat. Um, but that's why I love that plus and minus stat.
Hmm.
Um, like, this is probably my 40,000th time mentioning that stat because that tells you
That
it
matters.
shows you your worth on the court, you know. Um 35 points, but you minus 15.
That and your
Y'all still
replacement value.
yeah, and you still lose.
Right.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah. But
Those things
but in
those things matter to me.
but in hindsight though, I was just wanting to give that comparison how even in sports, we don't know who's really to blame for the outcome of some of these guys and why they're doing the things they're doing. Just like in parenting, a lot of these kids who are out here doing God knows what, mental health is at an all-time high, emotional intelligence, a term that I don't like, is not understood, fatherless homes, mothers are in the home, but the girls or the young ladies are still not growing up to be respectable women, and if or not wives to some degree. Not saying that that's just
Yeah.
what the goal is for some, but if that's what you're saying you're aspiring to, then why are you not
Yeah.
doing the things
Yeah.
that to get you closer to that?
I mean, I really
So,
had this
so that's why I
conversation
use
with the
that.
wife the other
Use that
day,
comparison.
Deacon. We had a conversation the other day that we were so happy that our children are not the shake it on film children. Because you're gonna have a entire era of grandparents who are gonna say, "What, girl? You should have seen me at your age. I used to bring them in my DMs. Boy, I was shaking every time I twerked on Instagram and threw it in a circle. I had my DMs was blowing up." What I mean, what you gonna tell these guys or these
Yeah.
children?
That's
That's
what
what
it
they got
is.
to work with. That's what they
Yeah,
got to work with.
that's what
That's
it
what
is.
they have to work with. I used to
And Big
get
Mama,
ticks all the
Big,
time in my DMs, girl. Heh,
yeah, Big Mama gone, man.
yeah, man. And this is what we got. And God, they told
Oh
us,
no,
I mean, the children are the
oh no,
future.
Big Mama not gone. Big Mama not gone. They just young with big backs.
Yeah, Big Mama's gone, bro.
Everybody want to eat, but don't
In
nobody want to work out, man. They
between.
all out here at
They few and
seafood
far
joints
between, and the
and
majority of them are over
Sunday fun
45,
days.
50 right now.
Shoot, some of them big mamas is 35, 32,
But
37.
they
Yeah,
not real big mamas.
what I, no, I
They
would
No,
say
not
when
real
I
big
say
mamas.
what in
when I
this
s-
era
That's
of what
Sunday.
big
They
mamas
not
become
Sunday.
because they
They
got
not
big no they
Sunday
got
big mamas.
when I say
I'm
Big
saying
Mama,
that I'm saying
I'm talking about big,
because
but Big Mama in
they're
my
Sunday fun
definition.
day ready, but they're not Sunday church ready. That's a different big
We
mama.
talking about
Big mama's ready
Medias.
for Sunday.
Yeah, Big Mama
Yeah, we
don't know
want them.
what
We
a
talking about the
DM.
Medias.
Yeah, Big Mama don't know
I
what
had
a
them a deal,
DM
so
is.
I get it.
Yeah,
Nah,
Big
Big
Mama
Mama
know what.
ain't on. Ain't if she might have a Facebook account, but she ain't even on Messenger.
Right, right.
Don't know how to
Yeah,
use it.
Don't even
yeah,
don't care about it. It don't hold any value to her. You know,
yeah,
she not on. She ain't out to try to influence nothing. She ain't on
yeah.
TikTok because she ain't got
Big
time to waste her day doing all that.
Big Mama think DM mean them mustard greens. That's what
Yeah,
she.
basically.
She don't know what DMs are,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. She don't understand
Yeah,
what FAFO mean. She don't
nah,
understand that.
man,
She don't even text nobody. Big Mama ain't
nah.
texting. If you don't call her, you can't reach her.
Yeah, that
Big
Big
Mama
Mama
At
still
gone,
got a
all.
man.
flip phone.
Big mama still want to use the yellow pages.
Yes, she do. Now she might advance past the yellow pages. She might Google, but she doing it from a desktop or a laptop. She ain't doing it from a phone.
Man,
Her phone is for one purpose:
man,
to answer the call and to
man, I
play
just
Angry Birds. That's it.
man,
Big
So
trustee, I
Mamas
just
do
that's
like
think
why
Angry Birds.
that's that's
I
why I
just I
wanted to
just
ask
think
the
trustee's
question.
question about I just think trustee Sean P's statement about that generation is to blame. There has been rumblings throughout the past few years, decade or so, who is to blame for the outcome of how some of these kids are coming out in the world and how some of these young parents are. There have been rumblings, so maybe we can talk about that. We could deep dive into that another
I
time
can I, I can
because
I can say this much. We are the generation of don't touch that child. Don't touch my child. You don't put your hands on my child. Leave my
No,
child alone. We are the
I
generation
ain't.
of where, hey, the children will call CPS on you. We are the generation who's come to the point. See, we ain't had nothing, man. If I messed up down at Miss Barb's house, guess what? Miss Barb would beat my hind parts. And when Miss Wells found out, Miss Wells would beat my hind parts. And when Miss Virginia found out, Miss Virginia would beat my hind parts. And by the time I walked in the house to get the belt that was waiting on me, I was already sore. We ain't got that no more. You
so you're
better not
saying
touch
so
none
you're
of these
saying
children.
so you're saying the idea of the village has already been destroyed
The
before we can
village
continue
is
on.
gone. The village is gone. We ain't up. You better mind your business. That's my child. You don't touch my child. This ain't got nothing to do with you. Well, he just burnt my
Well,
barn down. He just burnt my doorstep. He just sat
he
out and
said
sold crack in front of my house with my grandchildren. I don't care what he did. Don't touch my child.
he
You come to
said burnt
me.
my born down. He said burnt my born.
Yeah. Some people live in the country. They still got them.
Bro, this nigga
Now I'm
said
keeping it.
But I think you have but I do think you have a
he
point though. I
burnt.
do think you have a point though. The degradation of the black village has
And look,
been
you ready, Larry?
has
That's
been
Deacon King
has
ain't.
been
I'ma always be Sean P. You ain't never got to worry about that. That's for sure.
Man,
yeah.
When I
said
But I do
our
believe
generation fell in line, man. And here's what I say about that: with all the single mothers out there, and these children that think that they have this, unbridled right to things just simply because they exist.
mhm.
I understand what the Bible says that children are your oppressors, and your women rule over you. Oh my, children, you err in your ways. I understand it, and that is paraphrased. That is paraphrased, but it stands as the truth. We did not put our foot down, and we allowed, man, we had no damn rights in our parents' house. You had the right to eat, the right to shut the heck up, the right to not speak when grown-ups are talking to you, the right to go to sleep, the right to go to school, and the right to have some clothes on your back. And daggone, them shoes ain't had to be Nikes. They might have come from the Piggly Wiggly, the Seven, or the Safeway, or the A&P. That's what you had a right to. Kids today, they feel like they got a right to Jordans. They got a right to some bronze. So they got a right to some KDs. They got a right to say what they want to say. I got to be heard. I'm freedom of speech. You got one freedom of speech. Yes, ma'am, or no, ma'am. That's your freedom of speech back in my day. Yes, sir, no, sir. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Anything beyond that, if you're getting smart, it's discipline. It was knowing your place. Now they don't
And
have
so
that
you
place.
and so you saying that has leaked into sports
It
where
is
these
leaked
kids
into
already,
everything. Yes.
yeah. So these kids feel they have a silver spoon in their mouth, and I'll say this, man. There are a lot of more. Yeah, I'm speaking of FBAs, fundamentally Black Americans. You know, there's more suburban families in our community now than there ever was. There
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
now families. There are more Black families that are coming that that have both parents in the home.
They
Um,
are. Absolutely.
and so I think honestly, um, I'll be glad when they start changing the tide of how they train these kids in the AAU. And I know the college
Well, there's that
basketball.
too.
I know college basketball has basically changed in the last 5 years. You're seeing a little bit
The
more
they
development. You're
need
seeing
life
a little
skills,
bit
man.
more. Again, I'm just talking about sports. You
I
know,
understand. But they're
and
the ones that
how.
need it the worst because understand that most of your athletes don't come from private schools. They don't come from the vast majority of them don't come from two parent homes. Yes, we have more now, but your athletes are not coming from there. Your doctors, your lawyers,
That's
your
not true.
oh
That's not
shoot,
true.
man. If you
Nah,
look at sports now,
In Texas, bro.
Now
In
today,
tech,
today there are more athletes coming from two-parent households than we've ever seen.
yeah.
In
And
a black
eh,
community, for sure,
I'm
for
gonna give
sure
you.
it is.
I'm
Or at
gonna
least
give you.
both parents are actively present. That's
Yeah,
way
and
okay,
more.
I'll go
Way
along
more.
with that more
Yeah,
so than I will
it's
that
way
they
more
got two
prevalent.
parent homes. The
I mean,
father
but
and
might be in there coaching them along a little bit more, being
so
a part of their life,
no. So the thing is that the two-parent
but I
household is
can't
not
say that
just.
in DC.
I mean, but trustee, the two-parent household portion isn't just consistent just because of the biological parent, and that's the part that we miss. They
I
don't
understand.
categorize it just because of the two biological parents. If there's another male, a positive or male role model presence and a mom role model presence in the home, that is still considered a two-parent household.
Yeah,
So
well,
I
we have
understand.
more we've had an era of more step parents in kids' lives than we do of the absence of decade or more ago. So
I
that's
want
why
to
we
I,
agree
feel
with
like
y'all, but I
a lot
believe
of
that's a
times.
geographical thing.
No, it's not just
I,
geographic. It's not just geographical
I,
because you have to realize
And living in
too
here
that
in DC, I can tell you that is not the case in
no,
DC.
no,
And
no, no,
I
no,
go to these games and watch these kids,
I'm
man. Their mamas are
I'm
there,
not
their
disagreeing
dads
with you on
ain't
that.
there, and mom's out looking
No,
for a boyfriend.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that. But what I am going to say is that with this AAU circuit being as big as it is, these guys
Yeah.
getting NIL money. It's a whole different spectrum now. So to
Hmm.
say
yeah,
that these guys don't have their parents or have the role models or presence in their life will be really disingenuous right now. We can't say that
yeah.
it's the same as when AI came out and he coming out on the streets, and you had not Rashad McCants, not him, but you had guys coming off the street trying to
A
show
whole
who
lot
they
of
can
them.
be and showcase their talent. Like
And
Yeah.
we
they
got to
were
realize, like
hungry.
we don't really.
The
Yeah,
hunger was different.
they came from a different level. Yeah, they came from a different level of hunger. Like
Mhm.
it was completely different. LeBron James
But
Yeah.
you
being the prime
got and you,
example.
but you
Like
have
Yeah, LeBron too.
Jordan and Kobe are two anomalies who became as great as they were being African American athletes and being at the top of the game and top of their peak with having both of their parents in their life. Like
That's true.
there are
But
anomalies to that.
the but here's the thing about Jordan. Jordan had an older brother that dogged him, that gave him a competitive spirit.
That goes
Kobe
to that
was
village. That goes to
around
that village.
professional
That goes to that
athletes
village we were
that
talking about.
dogged him.
That
They
goes to
gave
that
him
village.
yeah. Steph Curry was around professional athletes that dogged him.
Hey, two-parent household until his parents became old enough, and then they decided to part ways. See what I'm saying? Like it's a
Exactly.
lot more. It's a lot
Yes,
more
yes.
athletes today who are
But
coming from two-parent households rather
here's
than coming from a single
here's
parent.
yeah, here's
But
my
I'm not
thing
denying what
though.
you're seeing in
Like,
DC. I'm not denying that at
yeah,
all, Toasty. Not one
I,
bit.
I'll say this, right? There's a powerhouse here in Houston, all right, called North Shore. Okay. And North Shore, bro, is they have a legacy thing going on there. And I can guarantee you 85% of them boys on that team, their parents are together because of the area. It like I said, and what I stated, my point is a lot of suburban families, like Summer Creek, those are fundamentally Black American families. And that's in Atascocita. Atascocita is almost Chocolate City. You follow what I'm saying? So and this is a phenomenon going on around. It's not just here in Harris County in Houston, Texas, but it's a phenomenon that's going around this country. Of course, you're going to have your parts where, it's still, you still have one parent household, but the CDC has already come out and said that Black fathers are in their kids' lives. If there's a single parent household, they're in their kids' lives almost double any other race in this country. You understand what I'm saying? So the CDC has already killed that myth of absentee fathers. Not at all saying that there aren't any. Not at all saying that every Black household has a father. But what we are saying, a majority of them do. Of course, you have your areas where, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, what the statistics say, that we in our kids, you know what I'm saying? I never, when I was in Memphis, I actually had everybody to stand on their feet and applaud Eric's parents, not just for being together, still being together, but I asked them to applaud them for raising such an awesome son. A tragic happened. A tragedy has happened. A life was taken away far too soon. 25 years away, 25 years of age, nine, what, a month, almost a month from his birthday. Like, that's terrible. But I salute them for raising a very fine young man. And that's in a lot of families in America, a lot of Black families in America right now. Because hey, like King A said, that NIL money is changing the game, man. And it's no longer a lot of we're not used to a lot of things. We're not used to material things. We're not used to finances. We as a people, we aren't. Our history says it, right? So when we get it, or when we get those opportunities, remember we had the conversation about what the NAACP was asking the Black top 4-star Black athletes to reconsider going to the SEC.
Yeah.
But a lot of us who were ignorant in that space was saying, well, man, speak for yourself. When kids see that money. Now, look, man, if they offering you money at Alabama, they can offer it in Ohio State. But the fact that we
Yeah.
don't have access to those type of resources, it clouds our thinking and how we should respond when something like that happens. You follow what I'm saying? So, we've come a long way, but we have so far to go. But man, look, how we're raising our children, that's propaganda, how they keep pushing the violence in Chicago. Like that's the only thing that happens in America. But at the same time, y'all suppressing over 50 school shootings by white Americans. Like we don't even know there are school shootings anymore in this country. Why? They suppress that news. But as soon as 3 people get killed in Chicago, that's on CNN.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So I don't want us to fall for the propaganda trick, like black on black crime. That's no such thing as black on black crime.
Nah, I'm not going that
That's
far with it. Like I said, geographically speaking, what you're saying probably holds a lot of validity. But here
there's
in
no such
DC,
thing.
I'm only speaking from what I'm dealing with out here.
There's no such thing as black on black crime.
Just crime.
Now, does it happen? Of course it does. But it's not a thing. Because we know whites kill whites at a higher rate.
And so many more than kill blacks. And whites kill whites more than whites kill blacks, or blacks kill blacks. But because the numbers are done
here's the thing.
from a skewed perspective,
at a
on a
higher
per capita
rate,
level,
they don't like to play that part.
A higher
rate.
No, they don't. But because what they do at that point, they put it on a per capita level. That way, it cherry picks it back down to
right.
Yes, a per capita. They kill more per capita. Okay, but we don't kill more. They're going, y'all are some murderous individuals. Y'all kill so many. I mean, it's just the amount more. But because they do it from a per capita. And so maybe what I'm doing right now is based on a per capita from Washington, D.C., as opposed to what's being BC. So I'm willing to accept that may be a valid point. I'm only seeing it from my perspective per capita.
And nobody, and I think nobody on this panel is arguing what you're seeing is not true. Nobody's going to argue that because
I know that.
Not at all.
I didn't
get that. I didn't get that from the conversation. I didn't get that at all from
the.
I didn't. What I'm saying is,
the listeners,
just because you didn't play here in DC, don't mean that you don't have an opinion, sir. I just want to make that clear. Before we get Ryan Clark up in here.
Oh, man. Jesus.
I'm gonna say this from a different angle that we haven't spoken about it before we go to our next.
Come on with it.
About the NBA and what's happening. What we're lacking is the continual presence of praying mothers and fathers in the home.
Good God Almighty!
Because everyone has a.
And the reason why we lack them is because they spending too much time Sunday morning twerking for the gram.
But repeat that again.
One of the things that we're missing is that we have the lack of fathers and mothers, praying fathers and mothers in the home, for one. But two, everyone has a relationship with God, but don't do as much praying, don't read the Bible as much. But the greed of what the money is out there is all we're chasing. And so that's what's happening. We're chasing the money, but not everyone is still chasing for glory. And we end up ultimately losing ourselves, losing our community, losing our families, losing our homes, losing who we really are, because it's always about the bag. If we're not always just chasing the bag and realize how genuine and how grateful it is just to be able to still be here to do what we do, that can change the mindset of our kids. But our kids are growing up in homes where the mom don't pray. And if they, you pray, you're being forced to pray, but they don't know how to pray. So how can we send our sons and our daughters into this world not realizing what type of harm is really out there, and they don't have the proper discernment because of alcoholism, all the substances that's out here that's taking our young people. They're going before me, and I just turned 34 2 weeks ago. A lot of our young
I got a daughter your age.
Or my age. Oh, I remember you speaking about that earlier. But those are things that we're missing to even push for our kids to realize, like, this opportunity that's here for you, it can be taken away from you instantly. as unfortunate
sir.
as it is, but we live in a world where, as I mentioned, it's all about the materialistic things. It's all about how you look. It's all about what you can do for me and not what I can do for you without looking for a back in return. It's all about
Transactional.
being manipulative. Everything is about reciprocity, but at some point, some things aren't. Some things, okay, look, I'm gonna do this for you, but I'm not looking for anything back in return. Just do what you got to do for yourself. And some people can't even take that with them moving forward. And so I say that because I see it all the time. I see it in our young folk, and I want better for our people, but they have to want better for themselves. You have to want better for them. And sometimes we don't know what's best for us. Our parents at times may think or believe that, hey, I'm doing what's best for you. I'm doing this to show you what's best for you. But how do you know what's best for me if I don't even know what's best for me in this instance? Like, this is an opportunity of a lifetime given to me. But if you train me up in the way that I should go, if you train me up in the way that I should go, as this comes to me, I'm gonna be able to handle it. And if I can't, you put me in a position to understand how to reach out, network, and use the proper resources. But a lot of our young people today are so focused on the bag that they're losing themselves in this thing.
Yeah. But I'll add to that before we move on. You know, I'll add to that. Like, there's a lot of things that we do need to do in our community, but at the end of the day, you know, we're, you know, with the resources that we have and with the things that have been handed to us, I think overall we're doing a pretty good job. I hate the propaganda. I hate that. I hate that that happens. I hate that it exists, because people sometimes they tend to listen to propaganda more than they listen to actual, you know, information. Like, for instance, I actually follow the mayor of Chicago. The reason I follow him is because I like listening to Black intelligent men. And I like the fact that he has no term limit. I like the fact that what he's doing is actually working. I like the fact that he's actually driving the crime down in Chicago. But that's not talked about. As soon as 2 people are killed in one weekend, of course, that's news. But that's the machine. That's what happens. But speaking of the machine, I'm gonna jump off that and jump on this what Rich Paul said about AI being more of a star than Kobe Bryant.
Did he say star or famous?
Uh,
Let's go back to the videotape.
Because it was different. It was different terms that was used. It was one that said
he said Iverson was a bigger star than Kobe.
Okay, so
this is when I said.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is when I said a few weeks ago that this dude somebody need to remove a mic from his mouth, because you're an agent and you represent LeBron, you represent AD, you're representing Draymond, and you're an agent, bro. And you start to sound like a troll. And we already know why he's saying that. But my only point in bringing that up, somebody need to take the mic out of his mouth, man. Get the mic out of his hand.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Since Kobe Bryant has passed away, there have been a lot of lame cornball ass dudes.
Reckless.
I do not mean to cuss, but there's been a lot of lame cornball dudes coming out speaking so
reckless,
disrespectfully on Kobe Bryant's name. But when he was alive, you didn't hear none of these rumors. Not a lick of it.
Not a peep, as the old folks say.
Because Kobe Bryant was one of those guys, he'll pull up on you or he'll call you himself. Especially if he had your number. He'll call you directly. He don't need no middleman. He'll call you himself.
Nah.
And
if you don't have your number,
he gonna get.
He gonna get your number.
He'll see you at his next game because he know you're gonna be there.
Yeah.
Or he gonna find out where you gonna be and he'll show up.
I just think it's funny because
Didn't he?
so
Didn't he?
that one
Didn't he
said
pull up on
star.
somebody at a
That was
club? I heard he pulled.
nah.
I heard he.
I know he called and chewed. He called and chewed Stephen A out.
Yeah, I know. I know
Before
about that. Jordan even done that. But I thought I heard him pulling up
that he
at
pulled
the
up on somebody at the
club
club
one night.
before. Well,
Yeah, like
Kobe don't go to the club, so if he pulled up on you at the club, it was serious.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I was going to say the same thing. That doesn't sound Kobe like to pull up on somebody at a club. However, I can see him pulling up at a game. I can see him pulling up at a press conference. I can see him
Yeah,
pulling up during a practice. I can see him pulling up in some other setting. I didn't. I don't know the
I
club
thought,
thing now. He
I
might,
thought
you
yeah,
I
I'm not
know,
sure
heard
about
that.
the club,
if Diddy
I
was
but
in
I just
heard.
think
LA
I
and had a
heard that.
party, he might pull up there at a party or something like that. But he's not pulling up at a club.
I thought I heard that. That he actually pulled up on somebody.
no,
He
man.
might have, but it wasn't at a club. It might have been at a gathering. It might have been at a private party out, or something. It might have been a party. It might have felt like club atmosphere, but he wasn't no club dude. Kobe wasn't in no
Yeah, man, I just
clubs,
think
man.
I
That's
just
too
think it's
dangerous.
it's very just funny though because there were like two other things that came out. One that one said star, another one said AI was more famous, and then there was another one said that AI was more influential than Kobe. So it was three different ones that came out, and mind you, you can debate it because they weren't technically around the same era. Um, AI from a cultural sense, in the sense of impact and stardom at that time, because he did have a way with people in the league. People wanted to start
Yes,
people
I can.
started to
The
want to get
cultural
tattoos.
impact. Yes,
People were starting to wear cornrows and braids and
yes,
wearing the long uniform pants and wearing the sleeves,
yeah,
wearing the baggy clothes. Like from a cultural sense, cool. Saying that he's more now. If you're talking about
yeah.
in a totality sense, no, AI is not bigger than Kobe because
Not
we
at
have to
all.
also look at the
We're talking
international. We have to
about
look at the
stars
international.
and popularity wise. It
Right. We have
depends
to look
on
at the
where you
international
are.
side of it. And Kobe internationally is way like he in a whole stratosphere compared to AI
Yeah.
and that's not saying that AI don't have any international popularity, but we're talking about Kobe Bryant. Like Kobe Bryant was he was
No,
their
no,
dude
I'm going to
overseas.
say this. I'm going to say this.
So it's
Over in
debatable. I
Asia,
mean,
you had Asians trying to get cornrows because of AI, man. You had Asians
No.
listening to rap music
Yeah.
and rapping because of AI, man. And so
no,
he did cross. But the thing about it is,
no, I'm
No.
not
it was something that was shorter lived than the legacy that Kobe or Mike left. I'm not
because
gonna say he
man,
didn't have it. It was just shorter lived.
Kobe, man, guys talked about so Lou Williams talked about a story when he was hanging out with AI and they went out in Philly when he first got to the league. But you had the likes of LeBron, D Wade, Darren Williams, who was on that Olympic team when they went overseas, who had already been there before Kobe was. When Kobe got there, they said that they felt like groupies compared to Kobe, how they all flocked to him.
Hmm.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like it's levels to it, and it can be a
Yeah.
debate because it just to those who are diehard fans of either one, to others it can sound far fetched. To others like, man, that could be spot on, but it kind of depends on which side of it you lean more towards. But to say he was more of a star than Kobe, stardom, they were actually equal to me. They both were equal.
Yeah, I would say that. I could say
If you
that.
at least say star power, they were at least equal. At
Yeah,
least equal.
I can go along with that part. When I think of star, I think of play, what they accomplished on court, and with the resume that Kobe has, AI doesn't measure up. I don't care how great of a player he was, just like Charles Barkley. He was a great player. He did a lot of amazing things, but you're not going to put him up there with Larry Bird. Why?
No.
'Cause Larry's got chips. You're not going to put him up there with Magic because Magic's got chips. You can't put him with Dr. J because Dr. J got a chip. There's levels to it, and that chip makes a difference. And so with that, AI does not measure in stardom on a court with Kobe Bryant, but in pop culture and the niche that he carved out in the way the culture of the game changed because of him. Oh yeah, he's
Hmm.
got equality. He's got equality almost with Jordan because his Reebok commercials and the question and the answer, they went hard, man. You had real Jordan fans out buying AI shoes. So he did make a difference in certain portions. He was a greater star, or at least an equal star. I will say that much. Um, I can't say that Kobe changed the culture of the game. He had a blueprint that his mentor Mike gave him that he ran with, and he kept what Mike had going.
He
He
kept it
did. He
alive.
he
He kept
maintained
it
it. He
alive,
kept
basically.
that alive. But when it comes to changing the culture within the game, there's only a few individuals who did that. The no look passes and stuff like that. That all of that was magic. That was magic. The crazy shots, just wild, unthought of, crazy angles. That was Larry Bird and Michael Jordan, who just pulled amazing shots out of nowhere.
Man, it's crazy that AI and Kobe are the only two who were picked for this clickbait of a segment or topic, because at the time that they both were stars, there were other shooting guards and forwards in the league who were at the
Yes,
top of their game,
yes,
who were stars
yes,
right along with them. The same way you brought
Yeah,
up
absolutely.
you brought up Reebok with AI. Trace McGrady was at an all-time high
Tracy
with
McGrady.
Adidas.
Tracy McGrady. Yeah,
with
Tracy
You know,
McGrady.
Adidas.
like
Grant Hill.
Grant Hill was
Penny
on that.
Hardaway.
Vince Carter was on that tail. You know
Vince
what I'm saying?
Carter. Absolutely.
He was more of a star than all of them when he first came in, just because he was a highlight reel of dunks and athleticism and
The human
creativity
highlight
and
reel.
aerosol. Like, half man, half amazing, right? Like
Half man, half amazing. Yeah.
he was literally considered a star the moment he touched in the league compared to some of the other guys.
hmm
Now Tim
hmm
Duncan was a
Agree.
star, but clearly a lot of bigs don't get that same adulation that the
He
guards.
also was a very quiet individual. He was very
Well,
quiet. He was
Vince
very
Carter was quiet
reserved.
too. Vince Carter was kind of quiet. Vince
He
Carter was just
was,
loud
but
with
he was
with his
loud on
flair
the
of his
court
game,
though.
the flair, the
But
flair
but
of his
but
game.
Timmy wasn't even loud on the court. He would quietly put up 25, 30 on you.
He'll
Grab
put
10,
up a,
11 boards.
he'll put up a quiet 20-20 on you.
Yeah, exactly. Real quiet. He didn't run up and down the court. He wouldn't
20
beat his
points,
chest. He wouldn't. He would. He
20
wasn't
points, 20
posterizing people. He
rebounds,
just put it.
4 assists,
He
5
did
blocks.
work.
Tim Duncan was that
David
dude.
Robinson was that same way.
But
David Robinson was a
I mean, come on.
quiet player.
But come on, you had the likes of Chris Webber, you had
Right.
KG around this time. Like, you had some
Right.
guys who were stars, like real stars in this time. Now, I would ask this though. Does Kobe get a knock of being considered to be a star compared to AI because he played with Shaq for his first 3 championships? Because if that's the case,
He
that's
does.
a load of bull.
Sometimes he does.
That's a load of bull.
Even though we have
That's a
looked
load
at
of
it like
bull.
a Batman and Superman situation, because he didn't win those MVPs, they have put him in a Robin when he should be considered a Batman.
I'm so glad you said that, because that is what I've been saying this entire time. Pippen is literally the only one who I could actually see being considered a Robin, because when opportunity presented itself, he never really put on the full coat as Batman. Shaq had flaws like Superman with kryptonite, and Kobe is literally not as athletic or not as dominant considered in Shaq's favor, but he got the heart of a champion. He got the will to want to win.
Yeah.
That's Batman. So that's Superman and Batman.
Right.
That's the same way I felt
Right.
about, or I believe, LeBron and D Wade. LeBron, as great as he is, he has so many flaws before he got to Miami. As great
When
as
it came
he
to
is,
skill, Batman
But-
was more skilled than Superman.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Superman
just had
was
to-
more physically able to do certain
And get-
things because of his powers. Batman didn't have any
Yeah.
powers. He worked his butt off, and then he went and developed his mind. He developed technology. He did everything he could to give himself the edge against individuals who had powers.
he had to
And if
kill
you
a will.
remember
Look,
correctly,
let me
Batman had killed Superman, daggone it.
let me
Yeah, I
ask
know.
y'all this
I
real
know.
quick. Let me ask
You
y'all.
talking
Let me ask you
to
this.
you talking to a real. I know.
Let me
Absolutely.
ask y'all. Let me ask y'all this, man. Like, how do we
real.
educate
You
people?
talking to a real with real.
Hold on.
He put up the
It's
Batman
really
Robin.
kind of messed up right now. King Ace doing it. Hey, look, for the listening audience, right now, King Ace is really taking off because we've had almost an entire segment and we ain't really disagreed.
But like I said, we
You're
don't do
right.
devil's advocate over
Like,
here,
this
man.
ain't normal for us.
Yeah.
No.
But we say what makes sense though.
Well,
You know, we don't we don't
that's it's not what we get
you
paid
know
for, but maybe we should. You know,
no we speak on what makes sense. Well, let me ask you this, man. When are we going to understand the importance of Kobe Bryant doing that three-peat with Shaq? Like, when are we gonna move away from Batman and Robin? Like, when are we
it's
gonna
going to be
honestly
hard.
realize
You can't,
it's not gonna be
you can't
hard?
go away from Batman and Robin. You
You
can't go
can't.
away from Batman and Robin.
I,
You can try to
I,
choose you can try to choose different superheroes to try to fit what makes
I think,
sense. But
I think,
Batman,
I think
Superman, Batman and
honestly,
Robin,
I think
Superman
Batman
and
and Robin
Crypto,
ain't.
whoever you want to use. Like,
I
Right.
think
It's going
Batman
to
and
be
Robin
hard.
is not a good analogy. It's not a great analogy
No, it's not a
because
great analogy, but we've done it to ourselves because when we look at rings, we base our GOAT conversation on the rings. Okay, when the rings are
yeah,
similar to, then we have to go to the next best thing. Well, Finals MVP, who was the best player on those teams that won those rings? Now, those of us who are fans of basketball understand Kobe's the necessity for Kobe and how much he was a part of those rings. But at the end of the day, all they said, well, no matter how much a part of it he was, Shaq won those three MVPs. And that's why we can't get away from it.
and
Because it's a
that's
defining
the
factor.
unfortunate side. That's the unfortunate side too.
It is. It may be very unfortunate, it may
Because
be unfair,
he basically
but
shot
that's
push
how,
it.
and this is where I come to the point where the rings make a difference. I understand, but it is a ring is a team achievement. But that Finals MVP means you were the reason, you were the catalyst, you were the one that willed that team to victory. You were that man. However, there have been discrepancies with that because as a rookie, Magic Johnson won a Finals MVP.
And he should not have won that.
He should not have had. Iguodala won a Finals MVP.
He should not have won that.
He should not have had it.
let me ask y'all this: going into Game 7, y'all didn't see that race between Magic Johnson and Kareem close?
No.
Mhm.
Kareem averaged 33 and 12, and he didn't even play.
He didn't play the clinching game.
He was hurt. He got hurt.
He got hurt.
No, no,
The,
no, no, no. I
I
understand what
think,
happened.
to be
What
honest
I'm
with you,
asking,
I
what I'm
believe that
asking,
go ahead, go ahead,
what
go
I'm
ahead.
asking, what I'm asking is, y'all didn't see that race. Come on now, y'all didn't see that race being close
no,
up
no,
to Game 6.
no, I didn't. I do believe
Oh,
Magic did. Kareem was that
oh,
dude, man. Kareem
no,
was
not. I'm
he.
not taking anything from Kareem, bro. I'm not
Yeah.
at all taking anything from Kareem. I'm giving
Okay.
Magic his props.
He
Like that
deserves his
race,
props. I understand.
I
I get
that
that.
race, in my opinion, okay, that race was a lot. It was close going into that sixth game.
Okay.
In my opinion, I mean, if I can pull up these stats, uh, I mean,
Don't get scared now. Pull him up.
I'm, no, I'm on that. I'm on that. I'm on that.
Bro, I'm
I'm
messing
on
with you.
that.
You already
I'm
know.
on that.
Don't pay Sean P no mind, y'all. I be just talking sometimes. Pull him up there. Come on there. Show me.
All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, game 1. All right, man. Come on.
You want to do a game by game basis, or you want to do it as overall? Because it ain't even close.
Huh?
It's not even close. I say, do you want to do it by game basis, or you want to do it by the overall stats of the entire finals? Because it's not close.
I just go up to leading up to game 6. What was it?
Game 6, Kareem didn't play. That's one game.
Yeah, that's what I'm
But
saying.
you're not looking at the total.
No. I said leading up, not on
up to
game
game
6. Yeah, I'm saying leading up to game 6.
Gotcha.
Because
Man,
I have
like I told you, it wasn't even close, man. It wasn't close. You got Magic with 16, 9 and 10, Kareem 33, 14, 5 with 6 blocks, 5 assists, 6 blocks. Game
Yeah.
2, Magic 19 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar 38 points, 14 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 blocks. Game 3, he had a triple-double, 14 points, 10 rebounds, 11 assists. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 33 points, 14 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 blocks. Magic Johnson, game 4, 28 points, 7 and 7. Kareem, 23, 10, 6 with 3 blocks. Game 5, Magic, 10 points, 14 rebounds, 9 assists. Kareem, 40 points, 15 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 blocks. He injured his ankle late in the game. Of course, he didn't play in game 6. That's when Magic started that's when Magic started as the point guard. As the big man, as the center. 42, 15, and 7.
Mm-hmm.
Where in them stats does it say that Magic is actually supposed to win that, besides the sentimental value and sense of showing a will to want to win and play as a center as a rookie? That is the only reason he got that Finals MVP.
Well, I'm not gonna say that's the only reason. He almost averaged a triple double. It's a low triple double, but he almost averaged a low triple double. And now we got to get into the assists and so forth too, because those are points.
33, 13.6, and 5 blocks a game on 54% shooting as a big.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now add in his assists.
He wasn't supposed to win it. 3.2.
Okay. So add those 3.2 across that span and give him points for that. See, this is what people forget. Those assists are points.
Think about it. Think about this. No. That's Kareem's 3.2. Magic was at 8.
I understand.
So I'm not disagreeing.
Exactly.
What I'm saying is Magic only averaged 21.5 points, and Kareem was averaging 33. Take his
but we're only looking at the scoring. Again, we need to add in those assists. When you put that assist in, that's at least another 20 points per game.
But Kareem averaged 5 blocks a game.
I understand that. We're not saying that Kareem did not deserve that.
But that's
what we're saying is that Magic does have somewhat of an argument, because when you put in averaging close to a triple double, those assists matter at that particular point in time, because those are points that were produced.
Yeah, but it's
we're talking about 33 points a game.
Yeah, but I'm thinking it was a lot closer than that. And looking,
how many? I got to break this down mathematically, Larry. Let me do this mathematically for my brother real quick, because this is what he was trying to. This is why I cut the line, because he was making a point, and now the point's going to come to fruition. It's going to show him being correct. Okay, if he averaged 20 points a game, correct, roughly. Magic average 20 points a game, right?
Yeah, 21 and a half.
21. Okay, how many assists per game did he average?
8.7.
8.6.
So let's add 16. Let's call that 17 more points. Now he's averaged 38 points a game.
Yeah.
Whereas
Kareem
averaged 33, right?
No,
and with
Kareem averaged,
but it shows that he averaged closer to 4 assists a game.
Okay, so 4 assists a game is 8 points, and now but now it's not as big a disparity, is it?
Yeah, until you also bring in your rebounds and you bring in your blocks.
I get you. You're 100% correct. But here's a man here's a man in Magic Johnson who almost averaged a triple-double. How many rebounds did he bring in?
11.2.
11.2.
13.6.
That's come on, man. That's production.
I honestly think that's probably what they looked at, but
That's
the
when
numbers
when
that
the PR came in, because ain't no
if
way
it wasn't for that game 6,
he wasn't
and
supposed to get that.
honestly,
That's
I honestly
what I
think,
believe. Of course, I could be wrong. But
Yeah. No. You're not wrong.
I think,
You're not
I
wrong.
think,
I'm just
I
showing
think that's what
that there's some parity to why, that makes some sense to why he could have been considered based on the fact
Yeah.
that he produced on every level. Kareem, yeah, did too. But Kareem primarily produced in points and rebounds. The assists made a difference. Kareem's blocks make a difference.
I'm so
Kareem
glad
should have
we
won it from the blocks
I'm so glad we're
because
having this
that's the denial of points.
I'm
That's
so glad
taking
we're having
away
this
almost
conversation.
10 points a game. If what he averaged,
you say.
five blocks a game or something like that?
Yeah,
Four.
was like right at 5.
Right at 5. So
Four.
that's 10
4 and a
points a
half.
game that he took away from the other team.
You said 4.5?
Okay.
Four
So
and
9 points.
4.6.
So 9 points a
4.6.
game.
No.
We'll call it 9.
4.6.
4.6
blocks.
We'll call that 9 points. Let's do everything by points. So he's taking away 9 points a game from the other team. He's grabbing the boards. The boards do produce points as well, but we can't say whether they're off. We have to look at the offense and defense, whether or not they were able. See, it's a lot of statistical data that goes into that. Whether or not those rebounds produced points, either from him in second-hand points, or if he was able to get to an assist, or whatever the case may be. Did those rebounds produce points? Whereas we got now Magic Johnson with his points, his assists, which are at a way higher level, and he had some rebounds, not at the same level as Kareem, but he was up there. And he had a few steals and blocks too. He just didn't have them at the level. But the game was a different game. The game ran through Kareem, much like the game ran through Shaq when Kobe and Shaq were playing. So could it have been easy enough to give Kareem that award, and did he deserve it? You're absolutely correct. But is it a fallacy to have given it to Magic Johnson? No, because Kobe could have got one. Kobe should have got maybe 1 or 2 of those from Shaq.
Man, Shaq was averaging 30, 38, 33, 35, 36 or something.
Yeah, but we're looking at just the points. Yeah.
If he was going to steal one,
the rebounds and the blocks too. It would have been that second one, or if not that last one.
But much like
one,
Magic
Shaq was
affected the whole game more, being the facilitator, so did Kobe affect the whole game more. But
the one that
Shaq
Kobe
had
was against
the offense ran through Shaq, and the offense ran through Kareem. So when Magic had to take Kareem's spot, he had a game that was unheard of from a rookie and from a player who was a replacement player in a position that he wasn't his normal position.
Man, I've been sitting here looking at these numbers, man. They're crazy. 1980, 1979, 1980, and these stats are crazy. And I showed y'all that clip when the gentleman was talking about, like, these players from the 80s and the 90s couldn't stand up against. Like, bro, I don't see nobody. I don't see a Shea Gilchrist. I don't see him stepping up playing no 5, bro, and being successful. I don't even see LeBron stepping up playing a 5.
But Magic but we got to realize Magic 6'9", so that he was.
I get that, but
at the time,
yeah, but like that hook, he took Kareem's hook and made it his.
Yeah, he did.
Like
he did.
that game.
He did.
He took that hook.
No, he did.
Remember, that's how we.
And he did it to honor the captain. He did it to honor the captain. He did.
Thank you.
We can't take that away. He honored his captain.
But man, I'm glad we're having this conversation, man, because it's something about the GOAT debate that has never been spoken about. How many GOATs are in the GOAT debate that you can say just off the top of your head based on your criteria? Not a criteria that could actually be out there. for either one
Five,
of you.
maybe 5 or 6,
And
5 or 6.
who would those 5 or 6 be for your group?
Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Jordan, and you got Kobe and LeBron. Those are the if you had
Okay.
6, those are the 6 that are really
I
in the debate.
I can't
What about you?
put I can't put Russell up there. If I put Russell up there, then I have to remove Wilt.
I
What I
can't remove
will
either one of them.
I
I
have to
can't.
when they
Russell
went,
dominated in rings. Wilt dominated in everything else.
yeah, but Russell dominated Wilt.
No, he
That's
didn't. He never
that's
did that. That's your
yes he
take of
did.
it. It's not the truth.
Rev,
Yes
We're
he
let me
we're
get
did.
yours,
looking
and
at
then
a
hey,
game
we
plan that was to take you looking at what happened because of a game plan that was taking the ball out of Wilt's ability to score and
No,
making him make
no,
his team. Yes, he was told to
no.
give that thing up.
Russell,
He was told he
Russell,
didn't. Russell ain't never hold Wilt to nothing. Don't even
man,
try it.
come on, man. Come
No,
on,
he
bro.
did not. He did not. He did not. It was it
I don't
was
want us to get
a
too long. I don't want
coaching
to get too
decision.
far off. Right?
It was a
I
coaching
don't want us to get
decision
too far off.
to get Wilt more involved with passing the ball so he would not be the only focal point, so that they couldn't just key in on him. That they would have to beat them with the whole team as opposed to just beating them with Wilt. Now, this is historical. This is fact. He was told, and he did it. As great of a player as he is, he did what was told. But in no way did Bill Russell hold Wilt Chamberlain to nothing. Wilt dominated him.
So this is why I don't do the Kobe versus LeBron, and I think LeBron is like 16-6 against Kobe.
Yeah, but
Um,
that's regular season. That don't even
I
count.
don't. Well, yeah, but I mean, I look at like Russell is 86 and 56 overall against Wilt. I don't look at
Uh-huh.
that to the. I don't look at that to
I can't look at
determine
that though. I
because
can't
they
look at that
gave
when
us no, not at
you
all.
had people that was
I'm,
six and
I
seven deep.
that's
You had six and
that's what
seven
I'm.
deep on their bench that became
That's
Hall of Famers. I can't look at
that's
that because the team was
listen.
far better.
Listen to me. That's why I said I cannot look at that series to determine, and that's not, I don't look at that to determine how I came up with Russell dominating Wilt. I don't look at that series of the
No,
season.
Boston dominated.
But
Simple as that.
but you already don't
Because
I
if
look
we
at
were to if we were to
consider.
take Wilt, and Bill off of the court, Boston would win those same games
But
with
at the
both of
same
them winning,
token, though,
with both of them out. The
at the same,
outcome would have been the same. So
but at the same token, though,
it,
he
it
already doesn't have Bill in. He already doesn't have Bill in the in his top 5 or 6.
but Bill belongs there because not only did Bill play, Bill coached a couple of them
We can get
championships
into
too.
we can get into that. I just had a real like a quick point to get to, and then that way I can get us kind of thinking on it real quick.
well.
The
Here's
fact that
here's
he
back and forth with
actually
you.
coached them and played at the same time puts him at a different level to me.
here's my
Wilt ain't
five.
had to do nothing but play.
Here's my five. All right, I got in this order. I have Jordan 1. I have Kobe 2.
Uh,
I
uh,
have
uh.
I have Russell 3. I have Magic 4, and I have Kareem at 5.
Okay, so the main reason I asked this question is because we have all these great players we want to have in the GOAT debate, right? Besides guys who went to the finals once and won one championship, or have gone multiple times and only won one, how many of the guys that's in your GOAT debate also have another person on their team who won the finals MVP?
None.
Yeah.
So out of your 5 and 6, you're going to tell me that no one else has won a finals MVP?
I'm talking about on mine, none. On his, he's got Kobe.
No. Go through your list again, because I can
That's
show you
his list. I'm saying on my list, I don't have a 1 because I don't have Kobe in my top 5. I'm sorry.
I can tell you for every person you named, I can tell you the finals MVP from each one of them.
I don't. Unfortunately, Russell, it was for real in a different era. So he never won the
He
Finals
was, but
MVP.
Sam Jones, Bob Cousy, and John Havlicek won a Finals MVP with him, so he's already out of it. Go ahead, trustee.
But whoa,
Again,
whoa,
I took Kobe out. Kobe to me, Kobe
Whoa.
won 5 championships. He was the Batman on 3 of those when Superman was getting his man. And yes, he did produce. Yes, he did
Look
play.
at the
But Superman was the man. Everything went through Shaq first.
So Kobe's out
And
again.
that was when Shaq was still dominant. He was still in his prime then. Shaq was something different.
But you
So
you said Bill
my
Russell,
my
you said
my
Kareem.
list my list has Kareem. Mine starts with Michael Jordan, and I got a 1A, 1B with Michael Jordan and Wilt Chamberlain. I'm sorry, because they dominated the game in a way nobody else has ever seen. Yeah, no, Wilt did not get the championships because Wilt never had a team that matched up to Boston. Nobody had a team that matched up to Boston, or else they wouldn't have won 11 out of 13. It wasn't just about Wilt; they destroyed everybody. So I can't count that against him. One but 8
not when
teams in the
Wilt
league
was
anyway.
not when Wilt was in there. When Wilt got in, it was about 16 to 18 teams. Like their early years, that's your argument. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
All
So
right. So
now,
look, let's
you
let's
know.
do this. Let's do
So
this
hold on. Let me
Friday.
finish out. Let me
Hold on,
round it out.
whoa.
Cause I
Hold on, real
still got
quick, real quick.
LeBron. I got Kareem
I
as the
got you. I
2A,
got you.
2B. I
I
got
got you.
Kareem,
But hold on,
and
real
then
quick,
that
real
last
quick,
spot I'm giving to Russell because
real quick,
although Russell,
real quick.
although I'm putting it on the fact that the responsibilities that he had to coach a team as well as play at the same time puts him in a league by himself. Nobody else can claim that.
Real quick. Friday, we're gonna talk about the first 5 rings of Boston. We're gonna take a deep dive into that because I think that's important. We're gonna look at the first 5 rings, and we're gonna look at their last 6 rings. Let's do that. We're gonna take a deep dive into that because nobody really understands how, like, what. And I'm gonna go back to your list, Sean P. But nobody
I was
realized
trying
how
to go
much
back to his list.
racism.
Every person,
No,
every person on his list
hold on.
besides MJ, someone else has won a Finals MVP. And I was
But hold
going to
on.
tell
What I'm
him.
saying
With
is,
LeBron,
hold on. Wait.
That's why I was going to get to
Because
my point about it. But
I
go ahead, Red.
made an earlier point about Russell, and you named and listed 4 people who won the Finals MVP, and
3.
immediately
Yeah, I'll give you 3.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
remove Russell from that list. And my point in bringing that up was, remember, Russell was never the Finals MVP.
no, he wasn't. But he was a finals coach a couple times.
He was never the Finals MVP because of racism.
Understandable.
But Sam Jones is also black, so we can't do that. And it was a different time in which he ended up getting it. However, Bill
He
Russell
got it
was
in a
also
different
MVP.
era.
But he was also a league MVP 5 times, so I can't say that.
Well, again,
It also goes back to what
that's why.
Sean P said.
That's
The
why.
impact when it matters.
But the
That's what
NBA.
it goes off of your impact when it matters.
Yeah.
Here's
So
what I
if
say
I get
to
a,
that.
if I get a league MVP, but I don't get a Finals MVP, then that means I either not saying Bill Russell never showed up. I can't say that because
Yeah, but
we
so
came up at a
what the
different time.
so
Maybe that's
one
where
thing
it's
one
getting
thing I
better.
respect Donald Trump for doing is, if you're a boxing fan, you know who Jack. If you're a boxing fan, you know who Jack Johnson is.
Yeah.
And he pardoned Jack Johnson, right?
Absolutely. Which he should have.
Pardoned Jack
That was
Johnson.
crazy.
Okay. Well, what this commissioner did, I can't even think of his name right now. But what this commissioner did, he right the wrongs of the NBA. And so because Russell, he knew why Russell wasn't called the MVP. And because of that, they named the Finals MVP the Bill
Russell Award.
Yes. Because he wanted to right their wrong. He understood why he wasn't MVP of the Finals. It wasn't because he didn't show up, or it wasn't because he wasn't the man. It was because racism. And I understand about Sam Jones, but again, that was a different era.
Mhm.
They looked and they looked down on Russell, which again, I have some questions. I ask those questions off air, but I wanted to make sure I wanted to point that out because that's one of the reasons why I have Russell up there is because, but also everybody say, well, look, since he got 11 rings, because there's some things that you don't understand why we don't have him that far up. And I'll bring that to light on Friday. But go ahead and deep dive into what Sean P and his list of 5.
So where I was just going with it was Wilt ended up having Jerry West. So that was because Wilt only have 2 championships.
Yeah.
So in that same effort, but at the same time, you brought up LeBron. LeBron is the anomaly outside of these guys who ended up having someone that's one of the Finals MVPs because he's also on par to having the most losses alongside
Absolutely.
Elgin Baylor with the
Right.
most appearances. So
And
that's why I don't put him so high.
Elgin Baylor was the Michael Jordan of his time. Yeah, we can talk about that too. A lot of the game and where it came, it started with Elgin Baylor. People don't understand that. If you got to get into history, get into history. The modern era that we see, it started.
Elgin Baylor was a problem.
Yes, he was.
Sure.
Yes, he was. And people don't know nothing about Elgin Baylor. They don't really understand about Big O and how much of a problem Big O was. The first man who recorded a triple-double for a season.
He was still serving in the U.S. military while being an NBA player.
Elgin Baylor was that monster in his day.
A lot of people don't realize that. Like these guys were still working actual jobs while having an NBA career.
Absolutely.
They were doing what they were doing while having actual off-court jobs. Like
understanding the history of the game is what makes you a fan of the sport. Anybody can like a team
on Friday.
Anybody can like a team
on Friday, baby.
But do you know the history of that team? See, I'm a Wizards fan. I can remember those days when we had, the teams that we had. Man, oh my God, I can name some Wes Unseld. I can name all these different people. You understand me? I remember the Bulls with George Mikan towards the end of it. But nonetheless, I remember that. People all they know is what's going on currently and the stars. And they follow that. They don't know the game. They don't understand the history of the game.
They're blind to what's in front of them.
Yes.
Understanding your history helps you understand what's coming forward after that. It
Absolutely.
Makes you aware.
And you can show the delineation. You can show the delineation of where it stopped and where this started. And where Elgin Baylor, where the old game stopped, and when Elgin Baylor came in, it raised the NBA to a different era because now you had somebody who was proficient in scoring, who had a bag, who, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't just right hand dribbling, bouncing as the ball bounced and go to the basket or set shot. He was getting it in. He was so athletic. Nobody's seen anything like it before. Remind you of somebody?
Wilt actually gets a bad rap because he ended up being in an era that wasn't beneficial to him and his style of play,
Right.
and as athletic and dominant as he was. It was a very, very unfortunate thing. But it was once again, he also, I believe, needs to be on that pioneering list. Once we continue,
He definitely should be. If we plugged Wilt, who could we consider like a Wilt Chamberlain today?
I just saw
the
something.
only comparable. It would have been a mixture of Shaq and Jokic.
Yeah,
like you'd have to put
absolutely
them almost.
No,
and Shaq for his athleticism when he was in his prime and young.
Don't put Jokic in there.
No.
Do you see the numbers he's putting up as the big he is?
Yeah, Wilt was very proficient in passing.
Bro,
he was very proficient in passing.
Yeah. Okay, so Wilt being as dominant as he was in the time he did, Shaq being as dominant as he was as when he did. Jokic is the first player and or big to lead the league in rebounds and assists.
Yeah.
He have to have some type of leg room.
And Wilt did this. And Wilt did that.
I mean, we can say that the league rules make it to where he could do all of that and so on and so forth, but we can't penalize him for still being able to capitalize on opportunity that's given to him.
I'm not penalizing him. I can just name 10 centers. I can name 12 centers that's better than Joe. That's all.
No, you can't. Not if you look at the plus minus. Not if you look at the player at the value over replacement. No, you can't. You can't find 10. You can't find one.
I can definitely find 10.
You can't. You won't find one.
So the only knock I give Jokic, and I think me and Boog have talked about this on just another sports conversation with King.
He's just not athletic.
And James Boog.
What time y'all coming on?
Jokic is literally dealing with the Michael Jordan effect. And what I mean by that is when Jordan played, there were just follow me real quick. Just follow me real quick, and I'm gonna hand the keys to you.
Yeah,
Jokic
I'm picking
right
up
now,
what you're putting down, though.
And while he was winning his MVPs, he got to the finals, won his one chip, whatever, against a undermanned Miami Heat team who wasn't even supposed to be there as an 8 seed. Okay. Jokic is dealing with the Michael Jordan effect, meaning that this. People criticize MJ for not playing against comparable competition compared to him and his greatness.
Not me.
And no, not you. But I'm saying that's been the rumblings over time. Who did Michael
But that's
Jordan
because people don't know basketball.
They don't know basketball, but I'm just bringing it to the light for some of the younger listeners who we are trying to gravitate towards what we're saying. If MJ didn't technically play against nobody, when we understand he played against a Penny. He had to play against a Glove who was averaging over 20. He played against a Ron Harper who was averaging over 20, 22 points when he was with Cleveland. Drexler. Like he was playing
Mitch Richmond.
He was playing against guys, right? Wemby is a young player. Jokic is going to dominate him until Wemby fully comes to understand the game. Embiid can't stay healthy. AD is not big enough. DA, meaning DeAndre Ayton, is not the comparable matchup for
Jokic. He's not skillful enough. He's not skillful.
No, he's not.
So now we're having to go into the power forwards, which I mentioned AD, Anthony Davis. Now you mentioned Giannis. You may throw us a bonus. He's undersized. Bam, he's undersized, even though he's a decent big in the league today, based on how the game is. Who is Jokic actually playing comparable and in comparison to his game or as great of a player as he is? He's not.
Right.
No, he's not.
But that's the reason why I'm saying guys who don't know the game as far as MJ, that I'm giving that comparison to there because no one thinks about it that way.
But
dealing with the MJ complex because he's not playing against no other bigs.
But that's the MJ complex of ignorance. But when it comes to you
it's there.
It can be ignorance. But do you at least understand why I'm saying it though?
We do. I get you. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
But having that like a knowledge is a fallacy. That doesn't mean. See, we can say that
we don't have that lack of knowledge. But what King Ace and I both are saying
I understand that. But
this generation, this era has that lack of knowledge, and so we have to.
I'm just giving some transparency, basically.
But
yeah, it's up to us to teach them.
I understand what you're saying. I understand what both of y'all are saying. But what I am saying is, one is an ignorant opinion.
It may be.
The other one, no, they don't know Clyde Drexler. They don't know how cold Gary Payton. They don't know how cold the '96 Supersonics were. They don't know how cold.
Schlegel doesn't know what it's like to play in a game, but at the same time.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what we're saying. What we're saying is we can call out 10 cold shooting guards of that era. That's facts. They can't because they don't know any better. All they know is they tired of Jordan. They say Jordan is a good commercial, sell shoes. That's what they say. But we can call out and point them in the direction of, nah, bruh, you got Drexler, you got Reggie, you got David Thompson, you got all of these two guards. You got Dominique Wilkins, Glenn Rock, like you got all of these guards.
Even though he was a forward.
You don't know about. But I can say that Joker has not gone up against constant competition at
Because
the
he ain't
5
had
position.
none.
Exactly. That's not a guess. You can say that, and you can stand on that. They
Okay,
can't stand on.
but they
no,
are. They're
they can't.
standing on the plumber. They're standing on the plumber. They're standing on
that's
that.
no- But that's out of
And there
ignorance.
was
Those are
you
two
know,
things.
yeah.
It's out of ignorance. Those are two
It's
totally
not
different
entire
things.
ignorance because there was some
No,
times
it
through
is
there that Mike did
ignorance.
not have to go up against the best of the best, bruh. There were times
There
where he
is
did get some
ignorance.
passes.
There's ignorance in all of that. What are you talking about?
Come on, man.
You forgotten about the 93 Portland Trailblazers?
So
The 92?
We're talking
Oh,
about
okay.
1 year. That's one,
No,
but
that's-
I'm talking about
that was
throughout the
5
course of the
years.
time that Michael
That was
played
5
basketball.
whole
Entire.
years. The Portland Trailblazers
not-
was them.
Yeah, they wasn't
talking
I
them.
can agree with you.
You talking about 6? You talking
They
about
was
6
good.
whole years? You got 6 whole years when Seattle Supersonics was them. Utah.
Rev,
Nobody wanted
I
to
can
play
agree with
Utah,
you.
man.
I
Rev,
get
Rev,
what
I
you're
can agree
saying.
with you here. I can agree with you here that ignorance could only be fully understood if that person don't know and choose not to get the information. I get that. But to make a statement after getting the information that they gathered and they can actually prove it, then that's just a different level of awareness or lack of acceptance. I can fully understand that too. I was only bringing the idea of transparency because MJ, once again, and you know that, which is why you're passionate about your response, because clearly you've heard this before. There are guys who are going to speak on behalf of Jokic too, because although I believe he's not actually playing against comparable competition in Cat, Rudy Gobert is not offensive presence or threat. Kristaps Porzingis can't stay on the court. Jared Allen for Cleveland, he's not offensive threat. He's a defensive presence, but that doesn't do anything for you when you have to guard someone that can't score. Like they can't score.
Right.
So I don't
And
care about
Wemby
guard.
has not reached his prime yet.
He hasn't reached.
Wemby has not even reached his prime yet.
He's good, but he's not there yet. Bam is an
He's not
undersized
there.
big compared
When
to
Wemby gets there,
Jokic.
he's going to be the only
like
comparable competition that Jokic will be. You'll be able to base Jokic on right now because his game is that developed. He has an amazing game.
Embiid been out the conversation
No,
for me because he can't stay on the court. So Embiid been out the conversation.
But y'all aren't coming from an ignorant place. And
No, we're not.
Right, and so that's why I wanted to introduce it that way because I've heard this rumbling, not just from those who are unaware or just choose not to get the knowledge. I've heard it from people who know the knowledge, know the game, but it could just be a clear disdain or dislike or hate for MJ because they're either Bron fan or they're a KD fan or they're a fan of somebody else, but they don't want it to be MJ. But it's like your favorite player is your favorite player's favorite player, which is MJ. Like they still a fan of him. So even if you don't want to like him, it's your favorite player like him.
Also, MJ was a world famous jerk, and that is held against him as well.
Yeah,
that's held against him as well. How he carried it on and off the court. He was a whole. He was a whole.
He wasn't the most pleasant person to be around.
No, he wasn't, and people hold that against him as well. And for that, they will denounce him. Yeah, he was good, but he wouldn't. You know, this person, that person was bad because they might have been a better person, but they weren't a better player.
LeBron getting that now. Man, it's too many rumblings that he didn't shutting people out, pushing them away, didn't want to talk to them, not signing autographs.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good. Towards the end of his career, that's good. He's finally getting there. He's finally getting hated.
A lot of players. No. It's been happening. It's been happening. But
come Friday, we're gonna talk about some nostalgia. We're gonna get these young folk right. And
you say nostalgia gonna get them right?
Oh, no question. Because we haven't brought up LeBron name all night. Go figure. But we talked about basketball. You understand what I'm saying?
Not until the end. So yeah, we were good tonight. Yeah.
So look, will be rebroadcast at midnight on Radio 17. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for coming out. Peace. We love y'all.
When the weekend turns to Monday and the stars begin to shine, we're bringing you a message that'll stand the test of time. We got the wisdom in the building, keeping everything secure. A late night conversation that is positive and pure. Turn your radio up, tell your family and your friends. This is where the true community connection begins. It's a place for inspiration, it's a place for real talk. The most uplifting hour on your late night walk. We got Trusty Sean P, keeping everything on track. Deacon King Ace holding down the back, and guiding the ship with a word so clear. Reverend Larry on the mic is here. Trusty Sean P, Deacon King Ace, and your host, Reverend Larry. The mic is live right now.
Thank y'all. We love y'all. We see y'all Friday.